Good morning, real life traders. Good morning, everyone out there in YouTube land. Give me a one in the chat, please. Beautiful. Thanks. Jay's on top of it. Win. Good morning, Alex. Franco. How's Mexico? Bill, hope everyone's having a great morning. Just give me a second to do a little bit of cleaning up on my screens real quick to get prepared for. Let me bring this over. We could have a fun day today in the market. Looking like a gap down. We're going to get into it in a second, but here's my scan. And by the way, you should all see the my screen that has the broader markets on it, and I just pulled over my scanner, so hopefully you all are seeing that. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to move this around over here. Put YouTube over on this side. All right. So could have a fun day today in the market. I'm curious though. We should, before I dive into the overall markets, let's take a look. I can do this off screen, I guess. Let me go to, I'm just going to Econo Day. I want to see what, if anything, we have coming up today. So I don't really see, let me go to the full calendar. PMI 945. Let's see. Job loss 830. Okay, so that's already been out. Existing home sales 10 o'clock. Jay, it's funny, I don't see PMI. Am I missing that? Oh, how about this? Why don't I go to the right day? That would be helpful. It was highlighting Thursday, so that's immediately where my eye was drawn to. Yeah, so PMI 945. Okay, good to know. All right, so that's fine. I like the fact that it's earlier in the morning than later. That's good. Get that out of the way. All right, so let me close this out. Let me move the chat box around. Get that on a different screen. Got people coming into the room now. All right, so we'll take a look at the list here. So I'm pretty excited that we're going to get some nice looking gap downs. There's a handful of gap and goes, which is great. Question is then, when you have more than 5 or so, like you got to kind of narrow it down. You got to look at them and figure out what are the best, what's giving me the best look, right? So let's go and just dive into first the broader market. So what are we looking at? Let's take a look at the S&P. So right now we would be looking at, we'll see how this continues open, but it's, we're looking pretty bearish right now, which is not surprising. So this line that I have drawn here, I've got a couple lines drawn. This is where we broke out, right? So here's the previous resistance, overhead resistance. We broke out of that level, right? And we did it with a gap. Boom, broke above that level. So I'm always looking for getting in on a retest, right? So previous resistance becomes support. So would not be surprised for price to come down here, retest this level, and then boom, there's your S curve, right? Then it bounces. So if we get some selling today, selling early next week, would not shock me, right? Come back down, retest that line, and then look to move back up. S&P, let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Right. And again, I have another line there as well. So now with the NASDAQ, we're a little farther away from that line than we are on the S&P. So will we get all the way back down there? Probably not. And I hope not, because then we're probably breaking some important fib levels. But on that big bearish trend line that we had, if I zoom out a little bit, I can, right? So here's this big bearish trend line that we had. So when we broke out of it, we came back down and this was the retest, right? We didn't come all the way down here. Now, the S&P, on the other hand, did come all the way back down to this trend line. So not shocking that if it wouldn't be shocking if we come up here and we just come back down into maybe this area here and then bounce off of there. So again, I'm just looking at past price action, the fact that it broke out of this downward bearish trend, didn't come all the way back down to it. So I don't know that we would necessarily come all the way back down to this resistance line. So we'll see. But still looking bearish today. So that's the direction I'm going to be looking to go. We'll also take a look and see if there's anything on the bullish side. And I'm just looking at my scanner again. I don't really see much in terms of bullish action. So it's a bear day today. So, but we got to be selective, right? Because there's a lot to choose from. So we can take a look at I think when you threw in there, Tesla, we'll take a look at the usual suspects, and then we'll also look at what is happening out there. Because quite frankly, the tickers that we normally always follow and look at, I'm just quick glance. I'm looking at all inside days except for AMD. That looks like that could break down a little bit. But let's go to, so we'll keep an eye on the market as it develops over the next 24 minutes. But we are looking at potential gap downs here, right? So could be a fun day. Again, I think Jay posted 9:45 PMI. So we need to keep an eye on that. Okay. Let's go to a new share. Real quick, we'll run through the standard tickers that we follow. Okay, so NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA inside day right now, right? So here's yesterday's price action, the high, the low. So we're just inside, right? You all know who've been here long enough that, I'm not a huge fan of inside days, right? Inside days to me means chop. I'd like to trade with the market. So if the market is trending bearish today, that's the way I want to go. Morning, Ron. How are you? Hey, Ron, you're on host and panelists. If you want to switch that over to everyone, that would be awesome. Then, oh, there you go. Ron says, look for close above and then play the retest. Yep. Or close below and then, play the retest, right? So depending on if the market is going bearish, likely that's going to be the direction that these will go. But yeah, so that's a great approach. Let it break the higher the low and then get it on the retest. So not a whole lot to look at here. Just, we're inside, we're inside yesterday's price action. That's NVIDIA. Tesla, same thing. Tesla not giving me a whole lot to look at in terms of what it's doing. So here's yesterday's price action. Here's the low, high up in here, and we are trading inside. We're towards the high of yesterday. So again, could be a decent amount of chop. Now, one thing I will mention to you, I was doing a little back testing in one of my group mentorships, and Tesla, what we noticed, right, is, and I'm pulling, this is just yesterday's price action. So, and we did this well over maybe 2 weeks ago, right? So we looked at Tesla and we did a little back trading with it. What we realized is that Tesla tends to be extremely wicky up until around 10:15 in the morning. So, and the reason that we were doing this back trading is that one of the people in my mentorship group just got eaten alive, chopped up in the first, trading before 10:15 in the morning. And it was because of the wicks. So if we look here at Tesla, I mean, okay, yeah, this is not as wicky here the first, few minutes of the market, but then look at all this price action here, right? Here's a classic bull trap, right? People who haven't gotten in yet go high above this candle, trap, comes back down. Look at this wick, these wicks, this one here, bear trap, boom, comes up. Look at this wick. Then right here, 10:06. So we were looking at the times that we were looking at, and we were looking at this on a 3-minute chart. So 10:06, 10:09, etc. It was somewhere around that 10:03 to 10:15 period where Tesla finally settled down and started throwing in more, I'll just say, dependable candles, less wicky. So this is classic, right? This is what I've been seeing with Tesla. All this, this up and down, just throwing wicks everywhere for a period of time up until, again, 10:06, 10:15, somewhere in there. So keep that in mind for what it's worth. Again, that was just, I didn't even look at, I was driving all day long yesterday, so I didn't even look at yesterday's price action, but that's a great example of how you can just get chopped up with Tesla right in here. So anyway, inside day today so far, again, not giving me anything here to, set up just initially. We are holding, this is the weekly 100, or is that the daily? Line looks choppy, so that must be the, maybe it is the daily. Just, it's choppy. See, all these choppy lines are a higher time frame for me. No, that should be the weekly, because here's the daily down here was hiding on me. Amazon. Amazon, again, yesterday's price action low high. We're inside right now. We do have some, pretty major moving averages up here that, wouldn't, and plus after a day like this, right? So especially when it's making, we're on this is a 3-month chart here. But after it made that new high, you look at the size of that candle with volume, right? It's these candles, and I've said this before, especially when it's that kind of a strong candle with a strong close, not shocking to me to see it pull back to around 30 to 50% before it goes back up. So the next day, I'm anticipating a pullback. So if I were looking at this, and I will keep an eye on it, I'm just going to drop a line in here right now. So somewhere, just eyeball test, right? I mean, that's somewhere between the 30 and 50% retracement from the high. And it also aligns with this candle and the high of this candle. So that will be the area that I'll be looking at for a potential bounce. So I'll let Amazon just kind of work its way out first thing in the morning, and then see if we can get some type of a limit buy here. But again, if the market is going bearish and there's a lot of nice bearish gap and goes, that's where I'm going to be focusing. AMD. So AMD, interesting. This is AMD is setting up. Let's see, is Lauren here? I don't see Lauren yet. Okay. Lauren did sold naked put on this yesterday. Great, right? This was a great candle to sell a naked put on. This candle here, I think that's where, no, actually, I think this was the candle where Lauren sold it. So great candle to sell a naked put. I'm waiting for him to give me the details on what the expiration was, but I think he sold a 90. So down here. And again, let me check. I don't think he's here with us yet. Nope, don't see him. Okay. I'll get that information. I also like that level, right? So he sold the 90 down here. He got $1.20 for the put, which, 100 contracts, that's $120 that goes into your account immediately. Again, not, life-changing money, but do that a lot and it all adds up. And again, you do it on a ticker where you want to own shares of the company. So AMD is certainly a company that, I don't mind owning. But so today we are looking at AMD is looking like it could be a down day. So I'm actually looking to potentially see if we can get a decent size bearish candle again today. And then I will look to sell some puts on it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could get another big bearish day today, sell some puts on it, and then get a bounce. And then, those puts, if price goes, back up, that those puts the value of those puts would go down, capture, 80% of the premium, close out the position, whatever you want to do. But so I'll be looking for a nice, if we get a nice push down here, I will be looking to sell some puts on AMD. Apple, if I can spell, inside day, right? So again, another big candle, right? Yesterday. So wouldn't be shocking to see a pullback. I'm going to drop a line in here, somewhere right into here, right? So that line lines up with the high of this candle, the close of this candle. So somewhere in that area, but we are actually already below that. So we'll see where Apple opens up. Maybe it gets down into maybe more of the 50% range of yesterday. All right. Let's take a look at the tickers that I'm tracking with my scanner, just because, again, there's some really nice gap and goes, and there's some retest gaps as well, but there's some nice gap and goes. Let's take a look at and also nothing is outrageous in terms of nothing is outrageous in terms of the percent that they're down, right? So I'm not looking at stuff that is 12, 15, 20% down. I'm looking at stuff, everything I'm looking at right now is down somewhere between 4% and 2%. So that's perfect for me. Jay, KMX, we'll take a look at that. Let me just make a note. All right, so a couple of the airlines are gapping out, and you have American. I saw Delta was gapping down as well. Retest gap. I'm sorry, this is Alcoa, not American. But I did see that Delta was gapping down, but I don't see it down on the list anymore. Oh, there it is, AAL. Okay, so yeah, American and Delta are both gapping down. We'll take a look at those. Alcoa, so retest gap. Really nice, decent, good volume, good average true range. I'm going to be selective. There's a lot of gaps to look at. So I'm going to be more focused on some gap and goes, but if anybody's interested in tracking Alcoa, go for it. So Marvel. All right. So we got here's a bearish gap and go. The only potential issue right here, you have that. Here's the weekly 100 you want to be aware of if you are looking to trade that. The other thing is I've noticed with a lot of these, the volume, pre-market volume is not great. And that's the only issue. But these are all tickers that move. So, right. So we've got average true range of 2.3 on Marvell. But pre-market volume, it's 100,000. 500. So my rule is I'm looking for 10,000 shares traded minimum pre-market. So some of these are a little light, but this one, there's better gap and goes than this one, right? Just because we do have some support right here in the way of this 100. But Marvel's on my list. Unity Software. All right, so small little indecision candle here yesterday, bullish candle, gapping down. We do have some room to run here, right? So definitely some room to run here. Pre-market volume, right? Much better, right? So if you look at this, right, compared to Marvell, what we we're just looking at, this is already shaping up to look like an intraday chart pre-market, right? That's what I'm looking for. So U is definitely up there on my list. FCX. Again, kind of, I would put this in the category with Marvell. Yes, it's a gap and go. You are gapping below these candles right now currently, but light volume pre-market, and then you do have a ton of support here down below in the way of these moving averages. So FCX and Marvel are kind of not my top. Let's take a look at KMX. KMX. So you have a gap up, right? So it's a retest gap. So price, right? We are. Yep. That is nice. Good call, Jay. Yeah. So that is gapping up. So what Jay's looking at is here's the high 81.75. Current price action is a couple dollars above that. And what Jay was pointing out in his message there is that KMX has a nice gap, and it's I'm assuming that he's saying it's a 14% short float. So that means, there are definitely some short sellers in there. It's not as high as, some of those, the meme stocks that the Wall Street, guys were, that were squeezing the shorts, right? So it's not like it's, 30, 40% short float, but, 14%. Yeah, there could be a squeeze. Curious, what's the news on it? Just looking at them. Why is it surging today? All right. Well, either way, there is news on it. Earnings are. Oh, it was before the market. I thought that I saw that and I thought maybe it was after market. Nope, before market. Okay, cool. So there's our, so earnings, wow, they crushed it, right? Look at that. That's a great catalyst. 70, oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, actual, they crushed it. Yeah. So the estimate so they doubled the estimate. So, and I like what I do like about the pre-market look is that, it made this big move and it came down, but it's holding now, right? So previously, the last earnings season that we went through, it seemed like all these companies were making their big moves pre-market, and then they would come right back down pre-market, and the move was over. But I do like how this is like holding right around that 50% range. If we throw in some fibs here, I bet anything current price is right around that 50. Yep. So it's holding that 50% level. So, all right. So let's put CarMax on the list. What would be really nice, just thinking about in advance, what I would like to see on CarMax, that kind of a gap, get like a 5-minute bearish candle to kick it off, and then look for that to get taken out. But okay, so I've got that down on a different screen. 6 more minutes before market open. Take a look at. So here's United States Steel, X. Now, where are we now, right? Again, yes, it is a bearish gap and go. Pre-market volume is light, but if we do actually open 2283, so we're right around, that's where we are right now. So we're right around, sitting right below this level right now. That's the low, right? So we're back up here. We'll keep an eye on it. It's not clearing that. So it'd be great if it was actually clearing that pivot. It'd be even nicer if it was clearing this pivot right here, if it was gapping down here. But so X is on my list. Keep an eye on that. Yeah, Juan, we started off by looking at the SPY and the Qs. Yep, that's how we kicked off. But looking for a gap down on the markets today. Roblox. Okay. Roblox not gapping down any longer. Let me see. It popped up on my. It was on my scanner earlier. It says it's down to, okay, it's gapping down from yesterday's high, but it's within yesterday's price action, right? So not a gap and go. Oh, Palantir. Palantir. We have, now this is not a gap and go. It's a retest gap, but let's take a look at, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about with Palantir. So I already have the fibs on here. So this is, I'm currently going over a strategy with a my current mentorship group, strategy that I do where I utilize naked puts to initiate a position. Then I pyramid in at different levels. And then when it bounces where I'm expecting to bounce, then I sell cover calls. So, and that's just kind of the high level, explanation. But this is exactly the look, right, I'm looking for. So Palantir, right, after it, was beaten up so much and it down here and made this low of 7 and change. Look at this move, right? Really strong move to push up here. Came up, double top. Now it's pulling back. So where is it going to pull back to, right? Well, I'm expecting it. I mean, it could come down here to the 618, right? So here's the daily 50. So here's the weekly 100. It might, over the next course of the next week or so, might come down here. So just in terms of Palantir, I will be looking to day trade it today. It is, again, it's a retest gap. It's not a gap and go, but I'm also going to be looking to potentially sell some naked put on it. So have to see how much it moves. But 38 point, if I can get down in here, if I can start getting a big bearish candle coming down to this this weekly 100 here, that's where I'm going to be looking to sell some naked puts on this and initiate that strategy that I've been covering with my mentorship group. Let me go down. No, Lauren is still not here. Okay. All right. Sorry. I'm just looking at the attendee list. All right. So Palantir is on the list. Let's see. Check out Snap. Interesting, right? But it's not, it's pulled back, but it's not like it's not gapping down and clearing any pivot. So it's a small gap and it's gapping within yesterday's price range. AAL and Delta, let's take a look. All right, so AAL and Delta. So we're 16 here. All right, so if we can gap below this level here, we could open below here and trap some buyers. That could be decent. I'm going to put that on the list. Okay, we have 1 minute until market open. Delta. Wow, look at that move, right? Look at this classic channel, right? Classic channel. Look at this level. Delta was in this channel right there. Look at that. Just bouncing around between this channel, right? Finally comes out of it, breaks out, boom. What a move, right? So that's, when you are looking at channels, are there people who trade channels? Yeah, of course there are, but it's you get there's a lot of chop, right? The people who trade the channels are looking to buy right off this level, sell off this, and just play this channel back and forth, but it doesn't always go back all the way to the high, like here, right? If somebody bought here, it came back here, it came right back down, right? But the way to play the channel is to wait for it to break out and see if you can get some type of retest. Now, this didn't really retest. Like when I say break out of the channel, I'm looking for a strong candle out of it and then a retest, and that's where I look to get in. This is kind of, it was like broke out right here finally, but not with a lot of conviction, but then it just, took off. So Delta, we'll keep an eye on that. Here's yesterday's price action. So we do have, all right, looks like market just opened. That's weird. I didn't get the bell. All right, market is open. We do have a gap down here on Delta. Delta is going to go on my list. All right, need to say goodbye to everybody out there watching on YouTube. Thank you for being with us. Be sure to head on over to reallifetrading.com. We have a great community. We have what you've been watching today. It's called the All Access Pass. The All Access Pass runs from basically all day long. We start at 9 o'clock in the morning and it goes all the way until 6 p.m. at night. And we have tons of content throughout the day, live trading rooms. We also have live trading rooms. We have webinars, we have workshops, you name it. So come on over to reallifetrading.com. Would love to have you join the community. Great group of traders. We trade together every single day. Good luck trading today. Have an amazing